the screen. This is Bikes and Back Pain, and we are Eastside Movement Company. We're very glad you are all here. I am Anthony. I'm a physical therapist. Sorry, just adding in a few more people. I'm a physical therapist in town. We both love to recreationally cycle. I love to ride like out east, like around Decker Lake, that sort of thing. I love/hate the west side and some of the hills over there. And I would say I typically like to order a matcha latte with oat milk or a hot chocolate at a coffee shop stop.
Hey, I'm Amy Hooper. I'm also a physical therapist. If you don't know, Anthony and I co-own Eastside Movement Company together. I've had a bike since like 2014 or so, but I started riding bikes more during the pandemic. It's been a great way to like see town and and feel better about things and get some good outside time. My favorite place to bike around town right now is there's this like killer hill out west on Cuernavaca. And if you do that hill, there's this really cool coffee shop that has a goat called Civil Goat. So my favorite route right now, if I had to pick a route, would be Cuernavaca out towards Civil Goat. And my favorite thing to order at a coffee shop is annoying because it's the same as Anthony's, but it's also a matcha oat, maybe matcha coconut, sort of depends on the way that I'm feeling. I could go for a hot chocolate too. Not a big coffee person, but like matcha hot chocolate. Those are things that I am like consistently into. Yeah, that's us, and that is a little bit about us and biking.
So we both have bike pain, and it really sucks. I had bike pain. I have bike pain every time I step on the bike. I had back pain for about like 3 or 4 years. It was kind of horrible. Really stopped me from doing a lot of things, especially for me cycling at the time. Really had trouble like even just doing like a few miles at a time. So we know it really sucks.
Yeah. I also had back pain during PT school. I started to get back pain sort of coincidentally the semester that we started learning about the back. And then a little bit after that, I gave myself a disc injury in my lumbar spine, my low back, while I was deadlifting. And that was a big old freaking bummer. And it was super frustrating because I struggled for a while to find what was actually going to work. And what was going to help my back. And I learned a lot through that experience about what helps my own back and sort of in general, what do you do when the things that you learned don't help either you or like the people that you're working with and treating, and how do you get creative and what other sort of things that you should look at. Back pain sucks, pain in general sucks. And we want to make it better. We want people to know that we love treating back pain because we have tried a ton of things for back pain, and we know a bunch of different options of things to try with people, and we really love getting into it with people. You don't have to live with back pain is what we want everybody to know.
For sure. We might not have tried it all, but it's very close. So things we're targeting today, just as like a little quick overview. So we find obviously like everybody's pain is like very individualized, it's all unique to them, but for cyclists in general, like what we find are kind of these typical things. So our goal really is to like shut off these like over dominant back muscles that like tend to carry a little bit too much tension through it. Try to engage like the deep core. So we think about the obliques and the transverse abdominis. So kind of muscles on like more of the side and not as much of your six pack. And then also engage the hamstrings. The hamstrings and deep core go hand in hand to really help kind of inhibit some of those back muscles and really allow you to maximize like your efficiency of breathing, maximize your pedal stroke. And then again, also just provide a little bit of movement variability. So that way your back muscles just aren't firing all the time.
Yeah, and to just provide a little bit more context with that, a lot of people think my back hurts because my back isn't strong enough, or I don't use my back muscles enough. And in most people that we see, that is actually not the case. People with back pain more than likely have a very easy time activating muscles in the back, and they're always sort of have their back arched a little bit and are using those back muscles, maybe not always, but more of the time than not, they're using those back muscles, and your back muscles start to irritate other structures in the area. And it's like, hey man, give us a freaking break. So instead of activating, the first thing we're going to do is actually inhibit those over dominant back muscles. And that's really important.
Yeah, yeah, and especially for cyclists, like if you're in the saddle for a long period of time, like at some point those like back muscles are going to kick on and just be a little too happy to work for you. All right, so like I said, we were just going to get right into it. So we're going to try out some exercises. So some floor space. You'll need a book, yoga block, step, or foam roller at some point during this time. All right. So go ahead.
Here's how the setup of this is going to go. We are big in our own practice. We're big test retest people, and what that means is that before I do an intervention, before I try something, whether that's an exercise or something hands-on with someone, I am going to do a test, and that test could be a range of motion thing. It could be a like what do you feel in your body type thing, but there's going to be some sort of test. And then we're going to do the intervention, and then we're going to test that same thing again so that I know if there's a difference, and so that the person knows, hey, this is a good exercise for me or not, right? And that helps guide our exercise prescription and selection for people. So today, the same thing, you're going to get what we do with people in clinic. We're going to do test, intervention, retest, and then we're going to do that again for each of our 3 exercises. So the first test that we are going to do is a toe touch. So if you are going to do exercises with us, I'll give everyone a sec to sort of get ready. And we are actually going to bring in our model. My sister Paige kindly agreed to help us. This is Paige, everybody.
Hi.
Okay, so we're gonna reposition the camera here and get set up so you can see what's going on. And I'm gonna point some things out that I see on Paige's body as we go through this. So Paige, you're gonna do a toe touch. So go ahead and turn to where you're sideways to the camera. Go ahead and bend down, touch your toes if you can. Go as far down if you can't. So things to notice: where in your body do you feel a stretch? How far down can your fingers go towards your toes? For Paige, she gets a lot of roundness in her back here. She's a little bit flat back here, but for the most part, Paige is pretty much like fingers are touching toes. She's doing a good job with this. And Paige, go ahead and stand all the way back up. So if you're deciding to play along with us, touch your toes, and then if everyone's ready to go, we will roll into the intervention.
Yeah, and kind of notice like, where you feel tension, how far you can go down, that sort of stuff. Like just kind of get a general idea of like where things feel tight, or like, or if you're like, man, I can palm the floor, take note of that as well. Okay.
Paige, did you feel where'd you feel?
A little bit of pain right here.
Paige had a little bit of pain, sort of between her right back and her right butt, sort of at that junction at the top of the hip.
All righty.
Okay. So we'll give you just another second to touch your toes and to think about things. The exercise that we're going to do to inhibit your back muscles is, we're calling it the coffee shop squat. And the reason that we named it that is if you're on a bike ride, you're on a run, you're doing whatever you're doing, and your back muscles tense up, you can do this anywhere. You can do it at a coffee shop, you can do it on a parking block, you can do it on a curb, but coffee shop squat is a great way to help calm down those back muscles and give you some space. So this is the exercise that you're gonna need to sit on something. So get your book, get your yoga block, get your foam roller, any of those will work. You want something to put you off the floor just a little bit. And we're gonna demo here with Paige with the foam roller. You want to set the camera down? Okay, so you're going to put your butt on whatever you're going to sit on. So in Paige's case here, we got a foam roller, and Roscoe is going to help us out as well. What we're going to do is you're going to make sure you can feel the sides of your butt on whatever you're sitting on. So you have your sit bones on each side of your butt. Make sure you feel your sit bones in really good contact with the surface that you're sitting on. The other thing is you're going to make sure that your heels are touching the ground. So you're going to get in that position that Anthony's in the picture there. Mm-hmm. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your right arm and wrap it around your knees like Anthony's doing in the picture. And you can either wrap both arms around, or you can wrap one arm around and put one arm down towards the ground. So Paige is going to wrap both arms around here. There we go. And then what you're going to do from here is your head's going to stay in a like neutral position like Anthony's head is in the picture there. And you're going to take a breath in and try to send that air way back in your back, like between your shoulder blades. And take that breath in through your nose. And then take a big breath out through your mouth. Really let all your air out. Good. And you should feel your ribs dropping down in the front as you breathe out. Go ahead and take another breath in. Send air way back into your back between your shoulder blades. If you feel a stretch in your back, that's a good thing, right? Those back muscles are elongating.
If you had a big dinner, this might not be the most comfortable one right now, just as a forewarning. See some head nods.
And you're going to go for about 5 breaths total. So if you've been going along with us, you've probably done about 4 breaths.
And try to bring your feet in towards your bottom a little bit more. That will help you kind of pull your, that will help you pull your bottom under you as much as possible.
You want your back to be rounded out like you're seeing Anthony doing in the picture and like you're seeing Paige doing here, right? Rounding out the back helps those back muscles elongate and helps them rest or be inhibited. Okay. And then Paige, go ahead and rest and give yourself a break after you've done 5 breaths. Take a pause, get out of that position for a moment.
And really accentuate your exhale. That's probably one of the biggest things with this. Like the longer you can exhale, the better is what I would say, because it's going to not only do, it's not only going to shut off your back muscles, but it's also going to help like kind of allow a little bit more nervous system variability, where like you can go between like your fight or flight and your rest and digest, right? Which is a good thing to be able to do. So if you have to do one thing with this, long exhales, almost to the point of like, you're like, I can't exhale any longer.
Okay, and we're gonna do one more round of 5 breaths here. So go ahead and get back in that position, get your heels close to your butt, feel your back rounding out. Take a breath in through your nose, breathe all the way into your back, big breath in through your nose, big breath out, push all your air out. I want you to exhale until you feel like you cannot exhale anymore. Good job, Paige. Go ahead and take another breath in, fill in your back. Good. Big exhale, push all that air out. Paige has 3 more breaths. You're aiming for 5. Good. Breath in. Good. Big breath out. And Paige, slide your arms down your shins just a little bit more if you can. Good. One more breath. And big breath out. After you're done with your 5 breaths, I want you to go ahead and stand back up and we're going to retest. Nice. Paige, how'd that one feel?
Good. Felt like a stretch in my back as I breathed in.
Perfect. Okay, so once you're done, go ahead and stand back up and we'll retest. We're going to recheck Paige's toe touch here. Paige, how's that feel now?
Feels good. My like upper back feels really loose. I still feel.
You still feel a little bit tension in your lower back? Okay, so Paige's upper back loosened up a little bit. She still has some tension in her lower back. She's going to go ahead and stand back up. Did anybody else notice a change? Good change, bad change, no change at all? Throw that in the chat. We would love to know what you're feeling so far. There's no wrong answer to anything that we're doing. And I want to give you guys the caveat that the exercises that we're trying are going to be good for most people. But again, since we're not seeing you personally and we're not going after your specific deficits, if an exercise doesn't work for you, that's just not one for your body. Or maybe you needed more specific cueing. Okay.
Awesome. Felt some, yeah, awesome. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this will definitely help like a good amount of people. And like we were saying, like this is really nice. A big change, super tight hammies. Yep. Hopefully we're gonna do one more where we check that toe touch. So like if you didn't feel a big change, don't worry. The next one should help. Tension before and after was more in the hamstring. So a little bit more in the hamstrings there. Okay. Yeah. That definitely can happen. Just had dinner. Yeah, that. But yeah, you know, so I think some good changes for a good chunk of people, and then a little bit of tightness for some people that, especially with some of the hamstrings. But hopefully this next one will get you covered here. So awesome. Anybody have any questions at all about that one at all, or anything about that exercise? If not, oh yeah, go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
So when you were saying to pull the feet closer to tuck your hips under, do do you want a pretty deep pelvic tuck or just a pretty good flexion of the whole spine? Like, where's the focus on the tuck?
Yeah, I think more of the latter, like you said, kind of flexion of the whole spine, because what we want to see is kind of like a uniform expansion of the spine. So like you don't want to feel like you're, too far, flexed here, but then flat in your lumbar spine, right? Like you want to feel like everything is kind of exhale and you get that nice just uniform curve. Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
similar to child's pose, Nathan. If you're doing child's pose in a way that rounds out your whole back.
Yep. Awesome. Cool. Well, we checked the toe touch, so we now have kind of like our new baseline of that, so everybody kind of has an idea of it. All right, so the next one we're going to go to is, did I go back or forward? I went forward. Okay. The next one we're going to go to is the all four belly lift. Okay. So some might look at this as like similar as like the cat or camel. I don't know what people call it anymore. Exercise that like, a lot of people have been introduced to. So similar thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of head over here. We're going to be on the floor again, and Paige is going to be on all fours. Okay. So the key for this one, I would say, is your oblique engagement as much as possible. Roscoe is just going to start off the exercise. So is the oblique engagement. You don't want to feel as much of like that six pack with this. So you don't want to feel like you're really like bearing down with that six pack or feeling a lot of your pecs kick on. Okay. If you do, let us know. There's a few things we can do to troubleshoot this. Okay. So you want to have hands directly under your shoulders, knees directly under your hips, okay? Head kind of straight on. So a tendency for a lot of people is to do this, drop that head down or lift their head way up. So kind of just keep it in a nice, easy, neutral position, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a nice, easy, steady inhale. So inhale through your nose. And then as you exhale, you're gonna push your body away from the floor as if you're pushing through your hands and pushing kind of your chest or your sternum up toward the ceiling like so. You're going to tuck your pelvis under a little bit, and you can see right away how Paige's head kind of drops down, right? And so once you kind of get that press, you're going to shift forward into your hands just a little bit more, and that should help you feel kind of those outer abs, okay? And then once in that position, we're going to hold that for 5 breaths. So again, let's kind of start over again. So relax all the way, all right? So nice and relaxed, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, nice and easy. Exhale, press that sternum away from the floor. Tuck your pelvis under a little bit, and then shift your weight forward, kind of almost into your fingertips here. You should feel a little bit of this. Do you feel your outer abs kick on? Good. Now you're going to hold that ab tension and inhale again, nice and easy, and you'll feel that back expand. Now you're going to exhale, press away from the floor. Yep, press, 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 press. Feel those abs kick on. And then inhale again, nice and easy. Exhale all that air out. And then this time I'm going to have you pause for a little bit after that exhale. Good. Pause, hold that position. Inhale again, press. Yep. Awesome. Yeah. And you can almost, what's happening each time is you're getting this nice back expansion. And then every time you exhale, we're getting those obliques to kick on. And as she's pressing away, she's holding those obliques as much as possible. And then she's maintaining that oblique tension as she's inhaling again, okay? And so again, 5 breaths, maybe 2 to 3 rounds, will pretty much do it. Exhale all that air out. And again, the muscles to watch out for that might be a little over dominant are kind of the 6-pack muscles, as well as the pecs. You can take a break. Good. How'd that feel?
It's hard work.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you'll definitely feel some fatigue with it. That's for sure. But definitely, again, obliques, kind of shoulder blade muscles, and then less of your 6-pack and pecs. Okay, so give that a try. We're gonna do another round. Oh, hello, hi. As always, you are the star of the show.
So Anthony's going to cue you up if you want to walk through it now.
Okay. So again, all fours. Hands are going to be under shoulders, and then knees are under hips, okay? Good. So head straight on. I want you to inhale through your nose, nice and easy. And then gently and steadily press kind of your sternum away from the floor. Yep. And then you're going to kind of feel a stretch through your shoulder blades. Tuck your tail under you, like, you know, scared dog. And then you're going to shift your weight forward into your fingertips. Okay. So you should almost see like the whites in your fingertips, like kick on, like as if blood's kind of moving away from there. And then you're going to inhale. Exhale all that air out, kind of almost drawing your belly button up toward your spine. You'll feel your outer abs kick on and your shoulder blades kick on. Pause there for a second. Hold that ab tension. Inhale again. Good. Exhale all that air out again.
And don't let your head drop down too low. Remember, keep your head in a nice neutral position. It's easy to let your head drop low.
Exhale all that air out. Good. And then take a break. One thing I would say that I see a lot of times with people is after their like exhale, the shoulders will kind of drop back down and kind of sag back down again. So after that exhale, that's why I want people to pause and still maintain that position. And then inhale again, pushing away from the ground, okay? So you don't start to kind of like relax like this here, okay? All right, recheck everything?
Yep. So once you're done with 2 or 3 rounds of 5 breaths, go ahead and stand back up and you're gonna do another toe touch.
Mhm.
You're gonna notice if anything's different in your body, if your movement's different, if what you feel in your body is different in terms of tension, in terms of stretch.
Yeah, shoot forward. Press up, exhale all that air out, all of it out, all of it out, all of it out, all of it out. There you go, lift those ribs. So you're kind of lifting the ribs toward the ceiling. Inhale, there you go, head up just a little bit, there you go. Exhale, press away from the ground. Yep, shift forward. Good, and then one more. Nice. Exhale, lift, 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 lift. Good. All right.
Okay. And then Paige, go ahead and stand up and recheck. Paige can bend down, touch toes.
That's there. Yeah, what's there? Yeah, and then same thing as the last one, you know, let us know like if you feel anything through there at all. Any big change, you know, better or worse.
And we'll take another couple of seconds for people to.
Nice.
Mike got some gains.
Almost to the floor.
Catherine really felt the obliques. Yeah, this one's really unique in how much an oblique engagement you can get, especially when you rock the weight forward over your fingertips. It was surprising to me the first time that I did it with that modification. Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
And if anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. Shoulders got really tired. Guess I need to do more push-ups. Yeah, and I would say like if you got more like fatigue in the shoulders, like if you didn't feel much like obliques, there's probably a little bit of some trouble like kind of kicking those on. Definitely 6-pack dominant. All right, obliques switched on after a while. Yep. That is just a very common compensation with that. And with that being said, like I would say like nice, slow, elongated exhale versus like anything like quick or like where you like feel like you're bearing down.
Yeah.
I can tell if I'm getting more range of motion or hamstring, thoracic cage felt more open. Awesome. Cool.
Both, all of it.
Like I said, if anybody has any questions, you can feel free to unmute yourself. Oh, is that a hand up?
Yeah, sorry I came in late for another Zoom meeting.
No worries.
Oh, no worries.
Me, what the exercises look like?
So we're gonna keep it moving and go to the next exercise, but we will have this as a replay, and we'll post it on YouTube, and we'll make sure that you had to give us your email to sign up for this, and we wanted that so we could send everybody a follow-up email with like, hey, here's a copy of like all of the exercises and some instructions for them, so that you can actually try the exercises at home because it's easy to forget. Does that sound okay, Rachel?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just a bit confused. Okay, that sounds awesome. Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, no worries. Cool. All right, so we will go on to the next one here. long as no one else has any questions. All right, so all 4. All right, so last thing we're gonna check is a little bit of like knees toward chest. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of lie on the ground. We'll have Paige check it next.
Yep. So for knee towards chest, you're gonna lie flat on the ground, both legs all the way out straight. And then Paige, you're gonna actively bring one knee up towards your chest and let that knee bend. So actively, so don't use your hands. Okay, and you're gonna see how far up towards your chest your knee goes. You're also gonna know, do you have any pinching in your hip? Do you have any like tension in your low back? Paige, what do you feel in your body there?
Hip feels a little tight, but nothing
Hips
else.
a little tight. Okay, so Paige is a little bit above 90 degrees on her right side. You're also gonna check your left side. So Paige, let's go ahead and put the right leg down, check the left side. And how's the left side feel compared to the right?
Better than the right.
Paige says the left feels better than the right, so we will pay attention to her right side. She also has a little bit more motion on that side. We're not going to measure it, but if I had to eyeball it, this one's maybe at 100, and this one's probably at 115 or so degrees. That is not radians. If any of my engineering dorks are on this call. Okay, so I'll give everyone a sec if you are going to lie down on the floor and check right now, go ahead and lie down on the floor and check right now. So don't use your hand to pull your knee up towards your chest, just actively move your knee up towards your chest and see how far it can go. Feel for any pinching in the front of the hip, the side of the hip, feel for any tension in the back as you do that, or anything else you feel in your body. And I'll give everybody just a couple more seconds to feel that. Danny's right hip flexor is very tight. Okay. Ditto, same. Ooh, right hip flexor time. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
We're gonna see if we make a difference here. Okay, so I think that should have been enough time. So we're gonna go ahead and go into the exercise. If anyone definitely needs more time, like run back to your computer, throw a hand up or something. Okay, so the exercise that we are going to do to target the hamstrings is one of our favorites for cyclists. It's called foam roller bridge. So as you can see in the picture we got there, if you have a foam roller, if you don't have a foam roller, again, a step, a book, a yoga block, something to get your feet a little bit elevated is really great here. I'm going to demo around with Paige, and then we're going to check back in, and I'll cue you through it step by step. So if you want to watch first, you're welcome to watch first. I'm going to stop sharing the screen so you can see Paige bigger for the demo. This one is also really great for cyclists because it engages hamstrings and calves together, which is really important on the like up sweep of your pedal stroke. As you're sweeping your foot from the bottom of your pedal stroke back up towards your butt, you need to be able to engage your hamstrings and your calves together and to get a really good solid co-contraction to generate a lot of power, right? To drive you up your hill or to help you accelerate or to like maintain speed. So the point of this one is to light up your hamstrings and your calves. And if you do this one right, you will definitely feel it light up. So let's cue Paige through it. And Paige, let's scoot so the foam roller is on the mat.
And these type of exercises in general are good for cyclists because there's kind of, when we are going through our pedal stroke, we're constantly activating and inhibiting muscles like over and over. And this can really help our bodies like to do that efficiently.
Okay, so foam roll bridge, you're going to start out lying on the ground with the balls of your feet. That's the part of your foot right beneath your toes on the foam roller. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take a breath in through your nose and a breath out through your mouth. Yes, yeah. So you're going to start with your knees relatively bent, your heels relatively close to your butt, like this for the first round. That's perfect. Go ahead and take a breath in through your nose, Paige. And take a big breath out. And as Paige takes a breath out, she's going to notice how her ribs drop down. She's going to keep her ribs down as she takes another inhale. So, and another big breath out. Good. Perfect. So Paige, I want you to think about flattening out this area of your low back. Act like there's a bug back there, and I want you to gently squish the bug. Again, a lot of people are going to want to grip in through their six pack to squish that bug. Try not to grip in through the six pack. Gently squish the bug.
Good. And then I want you to push down through the balls of your feet to lift your hips off the ground. Perfect. You should feel your hamstrings working at this point on both sides. To get the calves, you're going to raise up on your toes, drive your heels up towards the ceiling while you maintain. Good. And from here, your goal is going to be to hold for about 30 seconds. And I'm going to get out of the way so you can see it all the way. And then Paige, go ahead and relax. Good. So the key points here are feeling your hamstrings and your calves working the whole time and not letting your back arch, and breathing. So 3 things: hamstrings and calves together, do not let your back arch, and keep breathing. It is really easy to hold your breath on this one. Do not hold your breath. Holding your breath is for cowards. Keep breathing. So that is the basic version of this exercise. I'm going to cue you through it, but we're going to do 3 different rounds of this on 2 legs. So we're going to do feet pretty close to your butt, so that's a lot of knee bend or knee flexion. Then we're going to do feet a little bit farther away, sort of that middle portion, and then we're going to do feet the furthest away with the least amount of knee bend or knee flexion. So the farther away that your feet get from your butt, the harder it's going to be to keep your hamstrings and your calves engaged, and also you're going to be tired as we get to the second and third round of this. So don't be surprised if you can't hold it as long. After we do all 3 rounds of the 2 leg, we're going to try a single leg version of this as well. So if you get done early and you want to try a single leg version, it is literally what it sounds like. Drop out to a single leg and do not let your back arch. It's really easy to let your back arch on that. Okay, so go ahead and lie down on your back if you're going to be joining us to demo this exercise right now. If not, you can look back on this later or watch our video summary of this. So you're going to lie down on your back and you're going to get the balls of your feet on your foam roller. We're going to start with your knees mostly bent, so your feet mostly up towards your butt. Go ahead and take a breath in through your nose and a big breath out through your mouth. And as you take that breath out through your mouth, make it a really big full exhale and notice how your ribs drop down. Take one more inhale to prepare. And as you take your next exhale, flatten out the low part of your back. Act like there's a bug between your low back and the floor and gently flatten out that bug. Don't absolutely crush it. Just gently make sure that you're pressing down on it. And then drive down through the balls of your feet to lift your butt off the ground. Hold that. Feel your hamstrings, that big muscle on the back of your thighs working. And then drive your heels up towards the ceiling. Good. Feel hamstrings and calves together. And hold that there. So I'm going to start a timer now. I'm going to stop you at about 15 seconds because that'll be about 25 seconds that you're up. Keep breathing in through your nose. Big breath out through your mouth. If you need to fall out before we get to about 30 seconds, that's okay. Do what your body can do. Keep holding, keep breathing. Do not let your back arch. Fight it, Paige. Don't let your back arch.
What do you mean?
And go ahead and come down. Relax.
Should my back be on?
So you want to feel like you're tucking under first and then driving the hips up like that. Yeah. So kind of pull under first, then butt up.
Yep. Can everybody, if anyone has a question about what arching your back means or not keeping your back or keeping your back flat, feel free to unmute yourself, chime in, or type in the chat. Your back muscles, you should not feel your back muscles working during this exercise. Paige's were working on that round. On the next round, Paige's back muscles are not going to be working. We're going to do our best to get Paige's back muscles not working on the next round. Okay, so let's do round 2. You're going to scoot your foam roller away from your butt a little bit. We're going to go in the mid portion. And we're going to do that same sequence. So Paige, go ahead and take a breath in through your nose and a big breath out through your mouth. And Paige, tuck your tail underneath you. So think about if squishing the bug is a cue that doesn't work for you, think about pulling your back pockets towards your knees, or a scared dog tucking its tail between its legs. Keep your tail tucked. Drive up through the balls of your feet to lift up. Good, better. Keep that tail tucked. Keep that tail tucked. Good. And drive your heels up toward the ceiling to feel your calves. Good. You feel your back still? My hands are cold and I touch Paige's back, but keep breathing, keep going. Got a timer going, keep going. Keep breathing in through the nose, big out through the mouth. Tuck that tail, tuck that tail, tuck that tail. Keep breathing. In 5, 4, 3, Paige, drop down. 2, 1, and 0. Paige is doing this exercise for the first time today. I will comment, the first time you do this exercise, it is really hard and your body will get a lot better at it relatively quickly if you practice it a couple of times. But yeah, at first, if you feel like your hamstrings or your calves are going to rip off your legs, that is okay.
And I would say to Danny, toes straight ahead. That would be the biggest thing. Yeah, hamstring cramp. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is very, very common.
That's very common.
The first time, and a lot of times too, like your hamstrings are kind of finding a new position, right? So it's like, okay, how do you contract in this like kind of shortened position or maybe neutral position, that sort of thing. So
yeah,
very common to get cramping kind of the first like time or two.
Yeah.
Alrighty, last round.
Last round. Oh, good question, Mike.
Keep it low.
Keep it low. The higher you go, the more likely you're going to be to use your back muscles. What if I feel it in one hamstring more than the other? Danny, that's actually really common. Try to see if you can balance it out, or if you're strong enough to do it single leg, you can start doing single leg, and then you cannot compensate.
Yeah, that's what I try to push people towards single leg as quickly as possible, because like basically like a lot of research shows, you know, no matter what we do, you know, with 2 legs, like we're gonna tend to like bias ourselves toward that like our dominant side, maybe not our like hand dominant side, but whatever muscle is more of that dominant muscle.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Ready? Last round.
Okay, last round. You're gonna straighten out your legs most of the way, leave a little bend in your knees, and Paige scoot so the foam roller is on the mat. Yep, so it doesn't slip. Roscoe, thank you for your help. Okay, so Paige, go ahead and take a breath in through your nose. Big breath out through your mouth. Tuck your tail underneath you like a scared dog. Pull your back pockets towards your knees. Push up through the balls of your feet to lift your hips. Good. And raise up into those heels. Keep that tail tuck. Keep that tail tuck. And hold it, folks. Keep breathing. Paige, breathe.
You want to scoot back a little bit so I can see just, yeah, she's just barely off the,
She's barely off the ground here. My like hand can't even go between her butt and the mat without touching her butt. Okay. And hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Nice job, y'all. That one's really hard. If anyone's still got gas in the tank, we'll do 1 round of single leg real quick here before we wrap up. Paige, are you down for single leg, or do you want me to demo? Okay, Paige's gonna demo single leg. So go ahead and roll the foam roller back towards your butt, because the farther away it is, the harder it is. So for single leg, you're gonna start with 2 legs. So Paige, same setup as before. Yep, breath in, big breath out. Pull your back pockets towards your knees. Good. Lift up and then raise up on the calves. And now pull one of your knees up towards your chest. Hold that. Do not lose the heel. Do not lose the tuck there. Breathe, 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 breathe. Good. And you're going to be able to hold this one for less long. That's okay. Okay, go ahead and come down. And then you'll do your other side as well. We'll do a quick demo here of the other side for everyone. Breath in, breath out, pull back pockets to knees, push up on both feet, switch to the other foot. Drive that heel up, don't lose it. Tuck the tail, tuck the tail.
bring your knee as close as you can toward your chest.
Bring this knee up.
Yep.
Hold it, breathe, 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 breathe. Heel, hamstrings and calves, and rest. Okay.
Alrighty.
Folks, we got one more test, retest. You're gonna lie back on the ground and we're gonna do that same thing, knee to chest. Paige's right knee felt, or right hip felt a little more tight the last time. Paige, how does it feel now?
Feels good.
Feels good. She has more motion on that right side.
The left one doesn't. Yeah.
Left one feels good too. Nice.
Nice, and let us know any big changes,
Hamstrings feel engaged.
better or worse.
Feel
Whoa. Hopefully that's a good whoa. Way more motion in my left after. Sweet.
Nice.
Totally no hip flexor tightness in our hip flexor. Nice.
We love
That's
to
really
see
cool. Love it. That's awesome. And let me back this up so I'm not cutting off my own head here. Yeah, and those 3 exercises, like I said, are going to be good for a good chunk of people. So like if one worked better than the other, focus in on that one, and again, kind of see what works best for you. Okay. We'll share the screen again. Thank you, Paige.
Thanks, Paige.
Alrighty. So.
Okay, so in summary, we hope that you will give these exercises a go. Doing them once with us is really great, but the real magic in trying exercises like this is trying them actually, out in your day and a little bit consistently, right? So that doesn't have to mean every single day, but for example, if you're a cyclist and you're gonna go ride your bike, try these exercises before you ride your bike, especially the 2 activation ones. If you're someone with back pain, hit all 3 before you ride, and you're gonna feel probably really, really good during your ride. The hamstring foam roller bridge alone is enough to really, really kick things up in terms of your power to really accelerate up hills, because getting those hamstrings going and the calves going together is really awesome. What else do we need to tell people?
Yeah, I would say do them consistently. We definitely think we kind of went through a lot of things, and we felt like these were probably 3 of the ones that were gonna give you the most bang for your buck. So do them for consistently for a couple weeks, see how they feel, and let us know, shoot us a message on Instagram if hey, especially if things are feeling better, right? I want to hear about that. And if and if they're not feeling better as well, let us know. We can definitely troubleshoot some things with you or anything like that if need be.
Yeah.
Cool.
If anyone has questions, we will stay to answer questions. Since you are all on this call, we will send you an email that has the summary. We'll send you the link to this YouTube recording in case you want to watch it again. But we'll also send you a page summary or an email summary of here's this exercise, here's what it was for, here's a link to a YouTube video for it as individuals, so you can hit those up real quick to remind yourself of those key points. The other thing, if you're not following us on Instagram, we're most active on Instagram. We post a lot of really, really great content on Instagram, and we're at Eastside Movement Co. there. Again, if you try the exercise and you love them, DM us. If you try them and you can't, you hate them, we want to know.
Which is not going to happen.
Which is really not going to happen. But we really enjoy having conversation with people and troubleshooting things with people. So please feel free to hit us up. We also work with people both in person and virtually. And if that's something that you would like to pursue either now or in the future, keep our name in your back pocket or hit us up over Instagram or through one of those other means that are on the screen, phone number, email, or contact form. We're really not hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, a lot of ways to contact us. Yeah, and if you do have more in-depth questions and you do have to go, we do offer basically 15 to 30 minute just chats just to kind of troubleshoot things with people and just kind of put them in the right direction as well. And then also as a thank you guys for coming, if you do ever want to see us in person or want to do an online visit, we will give you 50% off for attending this webinar for the initial visit. So yeah, thanks again, guys. We really, really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, we'll stick around. And if you have to go, like I said, just pop onto our website, and we're happy to answer questions later on.
Yeah, thanks for spending some time with us this evening. You can either unmute yourself or wave your hand, or you can type questions in the chat.
Thank you. Yeah,
Alexander,
hey, you're
you
welcome.
rock. Yeah, y'all are
Thanks, guys.
welcome.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you guys so much for spending some time with us tonight.
And if
Hamstrings feel great.
if any of this, in a good way. If you're sore tomorrow, that's okay. A lot of anytime I do this with the foam roller bridge in person with someone, I tell people it's a really spicy exercise, and if they're sore, that's the price of doing a spicy exercise.
Oh, I have a question if you've got a sec.
Yeah, what's up?
So I've been in physical therapy maybe 3 times over the past 4 or 5 years for various injuries, and all related to cycling, of course. And the number one thing that each visit I've gone to has always been glutes aren't strong enough, do lots of regular bridges. This is the first time I'm seeing this kind of bridge, which is activating calves and hamstrings, and it's kind of new. So do you think, obviously you know all of my history and you've talked to all of my previous physical therapists. So do you recommend continuing to do normal glute bridges in addition to these, or is that totally something that you can't even?
So it depends, right? So glutes are really good at like kind of like propelling us forward. So they're good during like certain parts of the pedal stroke, but they don't give us as much like during the portion that the hamstrings do. So like it would probably be, you know, just generally, it would probably be fine to still do some glute bridges. But again, like without like knowing like your full like kind of history and that sort of stuff, I would say do a little bit of both. Reason being is because glutes are going to drive more kind of rotation outward of your hips, and hamstrings are going to help drive more internal rotation of your hips. And so those are both movements that you want to have. So you don't want to have like one necessarily more than other. You want to have like kind of almost like an equal or balanced amount of both. So I don't think it would be a bad thing to do both. Like if you're doing the glute bridges like with a band or trying to keep your knees out a little bit, with the hamstring bridges, I would put a ball between your knees and drive a little bit more in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Again, to have that balance between the two.
Got it. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We think that a lot of people overlook the hamstrings and the importance of the hamstrings. Anthony has been calling them the Harry Potter of the muscle world, because it's just like they're like under the stairway and the like little and everyone's ignoring them. We think they're really important, but we hope that everyone gets on the same page eventually, that the hamstrings and the glutes are both important, right? So people shouldn't just know about their glutes, they should know about their hamstrings, they should know about their adductors, instead of just one, which tends to be more of the case.
Yeah, I think it's just really difficult to do exercises targeting the hamstrings.
It is.
It is.
That's the other thing.
Yeah, and I would say the big key too, especially if you're someone that feels a lot of hamstring tightness, is, you know, work on a little bit of hamstring activation with your butt tucked under you, and see if that kind of changes some of that hamstring length, because some of it, you know, can be a little bit of like over lengthened hamstrings that just always feel tight. And some of it also can be like accessing a little bit of like rotation one way versus the other, especially because like sometimes our bodies, again, are just going to be more biased to one versus the other. So,
Yeah,
you know, see if that helps a little bit. And I would say too, like do your glute bridges, see if that helps like a little bit of your, you know, kind of hamstring length or that toe touch, and then try the, you know, the foam roller bridge and see if that helps. You know, that can kind of help you key in on maybe what is best for your body.
Got it. Cool. Thanks.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Anybody got any other questions?
I don't really have a question, but I kind of want to piggyback on what Nathan was saying. I am like blown away because after doing that, so I have like previous injuries to the right side of my body. So, okay, so I'm not a cyclist, but I came here because I felt like I follow you guys on Instagram, and I think this is just going to be good information for me. But anywho, so when I did the bend in with my knee on the left side, it was like, I don't have any pain there, no tightness, but it's very apparent on the right side. And so I also normally just do normal bridges. I don't like do as much of a tuck. Sometimes I just kind of keep like more of a neutral. But was it the tucking that really helped, or was it just the whole down to the hamstring, calf, and glute? Because I didn't feel that much in my glute. I felt like definitely calf and hamstring. But I was just kind of curious what made it so different.
Yeah, so I would say the biggest thing with this is the activation of the calf and the hamstring, but it's also position of kind of your rib cage and pelvis. So getting that long exhale and pulling that bottom under can actually like help free up kind of some of that front of the hip motion. It's almost like, think about it like you can free up some of that hip motion by maybe like going from some of the front stuff, like you might like think like stretching out the like hip flexor or like that sort of thing, right? But with this way, like it's almost like instead of pushing the door, we're like pulling the door open. You know, we're kind of going about it from the opposite direction. So I would say definitely the positioning of the pelvis, rib cage, and then once you get that hamstring firing, you know, that just kind of almost sets everything into place.
Okay, that was awesome. Thank you guys so much. Super cool.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Cool. Any other questions at all before we head out?
Going once, going twice. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you guys.
we will see you all soon. If any of this was helpful, feel more than free to either pass along our information to somebody else. That helps us a ton.
Yeah.
Or
please
to
share.
like forward our email that we send you with the information after this, someone this could help. A, we like helping people, and B, we really appreciate it when people spread the word about us, because that just means so very much to us. So yeah, sweet. We will see everybody on the internet probably, because yeah.
All right, take care.
Bye.
guys.
That's
Thank
where we
Thank
all-
you. Bye.